All right, the second type of filter we're going to talk about today are the filters that clip onto the end of your faucets. The way that these work is, they have some sort of a filtration canister in it. They're usually, instead of granular media, usually they're using some sort of carbon block or fortified carbon block. And the idea is that you hook this up to the end of your faucet, and you can actually use a switch to determine whether or not the water is actually filtered. So, again, using our framework of does it work and will it work for you? Do these work? Well, there are a number of these filters out there that, they have marketing certifications that show that they work. Unfortunately, it's one of these things where what works in the lab doesn't always work in the field. And there have been some pretty highly publicized failures of these types of filters in the field. That said, take a look at your water quality data, then match up what you see in your water quality data to make sure that the filter is rated to actually work. That's the best thing that you can do as a consumer. So does it work? Sometimes, but to varying degrees. Now, the second type of criteria that we're using is it going to work for you? Now, these filters, they're not the most attractive thing on earth. Internally, when we were deciding whether or not we were going to develop one of these, we call them faucet warts because they're not the most attractive things out there. Also, if you have a modern faucet in your home that has some sort of a mechanism where you can actually pull it out and you can spray your dishes with it, a lot of times these filters won't actually mate with your faucet. So you're going to want to make sure that it's compatible with your faucet and that you're okay with, how it's going to look after, because we hear from a lot of people that just get a kitchen renovation done and then they see that they have a high lead level and then they're not terribly happy about how the filter actually looks. So, to sum it up, does it work? Sometimes they work. You're going to want to make sure that it will work for your water. And then, these are a good fit for people maybe who rent their homes, maybe if they have an older faucet or things like that. These can be a good solution, but it just really depends on whether or not you're willing to accept the trade-offs.